Also the fact that it's in private. They're using private.
It is crazy. That tribalism has always been there. Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. My name is Bianca and I'm with
Zanele
and
Nonkululeko.
Right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to be talking about Mock Passion by Ken Temba. We're going to explore the themes of apartheid, power and control, and also the patriarchy. So stay tuned because we're about to have a lot of fun. Okay, so our first question of the night is, do you guys think that apartheid is one of the leading causes for tribalism? Yes or no? Try and explain a bit more if you can.
I don't think it's one of the leading, I think it's the leading cause for tribalism.
Okay.
Because as we know, right, apartheid was literally made to separate black people from other races. So black people from colored people to white people, right? So now you have a group of people who try to, I think it's more of a cause and effect thing. They're conditioned to think, okay, because we are inferior to white people, let's also try to do the same with our people. And it's more indirect than direct, in my opinion, because it's not like one day you just choose to have this control over another group of another tribe. It just happens because now you're trying to fight for control. So in the book, for example, you see how they separate themselves from Lesothos and Xhosas, where it's like if you try to engage this type of people, then you're this way. It's an indirect form of control, because again, you're already suppressed, you're already oppressed. That way it's like, what can I do instead of, maybe I can also try to control other people.
Yeah.
I also think that's the case because apartheid created an environment where black people were marginalized in terms of like the group areas acts. That was one of the laws that created a separation and it grouped people into racial categories. And also while doing that, black people also were given like this little pieces of land that they had to stay in. So with them having been too much in an area, they had to like fight for resources that they have, the little scarce resources that they have.
Totally true.
Do you guys think it's the same thing of like how in Sophia Town, right? Because when Sophia Town was supposed to be a place of like vibrancy, and it's basically the opposite or anti-apartheid, right?
Yeah.
But now you find people, same black people who are like now in different tribes, in a place like Sophia Town. Don't you think it's a bit ironic or something to see that, okay, when a place where it's supposed to be the opposite of apartheid, everything apartheid is with the opposite of, but then tribalism is still a thing, for example, in a Sophia Town. Do you guys think it's a bit contradictory in a way or something?
I mean, my thing with tribalism is that it goes beyond apartheid. That's how I see it. I disagree with the notion that apartheid and tribalism is it's cause and effect type of thing. I think that tribalism existed way before apartheid. It just became a bit more evident during apartheid because of what you explained, that a certain tribe might feel a bit inferior to white people, so they'll try to get superiority over other tribes. But tribalism has always been there, and it is present right now. Apartheid is over and it's still there, we can see it, right? But an example that I'm thinking of is there's always been wars between Zulu people and Sotho people, with the Zulu people taking over land that was inhabited by Sotho people. You know, that also comes from a place of thinking that you are superior. So it became a bit more evident with apartheid, but it was always there. And also another thing is that they don't really separate themselves. It's not a thing that Zulu people wanted to go and live there and Xhosa people wanted to go live there. It was circumstance. So there was no way for certain tribes to be in the same place together. Even if they were in that same place together, they still get separated. So it was a system. It was the way that apartheid wanted to stop people from rebelling by having them in different spaces and not having them interact with each other. Because if you have Zulu people who think the same way, then you have Xhosa people who think the same way. Once they meet, obviously there'll be clashes, but also those clashes can lead to them realizing that this is bigger than us.
This is the common enemy, not us.
Not
It reminds
us.
me of something Ulinga said to Mapoli. He was like, no, actually, instead of us fighting the common enemy, fighting each other, when are we gonna stop? How are we gonna actually realize that this is not the solution, guys? We have to fight racism, we have to fight apartheid. And I feel like, okay, as much as you're right that maybe tribalism did exist way before apartheid, I feel like even now to this day, even the fact that apartheid ended a long time ago, but tribalism still exists, it's more the thing of like, we're still fighting each other to this day. And yes, the things like political parties that continue to oppress us in a way, we're still fighting each other. Like, oh my gosh, because we voted for ANC, this and this and this. Why are we fighting each other? Why don't you look at the people who actually caused this? Who are these people? How can we bring them out?
And I feel like we can also see that a bit more with the things that are happening like currently, with the way that people are being treated with the whole the whole Operation Tutula thing. There's this thing that keeps happening that is so weird to me, but it's actually a thing where people from other provinces or people that maybe, let's say you're from Limpopo, you are a Venda speaker and you go live in KZN. Right now, this is a dangerous time for you. You are not a part of the people that are being targeted, but you are dark-skinned, you look different compared to what they think you are supposed to look like. So now they target you and you are part of the people that they want out of this country, even though you're a citizen. So I feel like it's also, it reflects in that because there are a lot of white foreigners in this country.
Especially in Western Cape. Exactly. It's almost like, as though we're forgetting that the people in Western Cape, Europeans, we have Americans, literally, like, it's insane. It's insane.
It is crazy. It is crazy because I remember in my seminar class we were talking about it, and most of the people were like, "But what are white people doing to us? Are they bringing drugs into their country?" I'm like, "No, but they're making property prices higher. Why are we forgetting
it reminds
this?"
me of something someone said to me on an Instagram video about like how South Africans one day will regret treating other Africans the way they're treating them right now. Because it's like, how are you gonna look at someone else who looks different from you, another tribe, and be like, leave our country, leave our space, you don't belong here. But you have white people who are trying to, because my view is that, Europeans, Americans, whatever, coming to South Africa, living in Cape Town, it's not just we love Cape Town. I feel like it's more of like colonization coming to effect. Like, it's just slowly, they won't realize it because we're busy fighting each other. So it's more of like a scheme. You don't see it because they're busy fighting this other person looks like, they don't look like us, type of thing.
I think that apartheid did like lay the foundations for that, even though it's not directly being seen right now, but it was the effect because it created this whole complex of divide and conquer. It divided like black Africans among themselves. So now they can't really join forces in a way because they see themselves as different from one another. So,
but the central point is that most isms and phobias are linked together. They kind of all, in a way, might link to apartheid. Because I still think that tribalism has always been there and we can't solely put it on apartheid.
Like, in your word, you're saying that apartheid basically was like the engine that drove
it, catalyzed it.
It made it visible, but it was a thing that was always present. Let's just put it like that.
Being said, moving on to the next question, right? So do you guys think that like apartheid wasn't just something to segregate black people from white people, but also was a way of reinforcing patriarchy, especially in black communities?
Let me say, in my understanding, right, the notion of apartheid had a negative effect on the black man because they themselves were oppressed by the system, right? So in order for them to counteract that oppression, they sort of like brought it out on the women, like to assert dominance in a way on something that they can control. So it kind of led to that, in a way. It was a pattern. I can put it that way.
So you're asking if apartheid was a way to reinforce patriarchy. I don't think so. I don't think that when it was put into place initially that was the idea. I do think that it did cause a bit of a surgence in that. I think it did because again, like Nkundi said, if the black man is oppressed, then he will oppress the black woman, because I feel like if men actually see themselves as like the top tier, most amazing people on planet Earth. You cannot tell them nothing, okay? So when it comes to a system like apartheid, where when you are black, even as a man, there is no like there are no little, what is this? Like, I don't know how to explain this part, but you don't get extra points, because you are a man. You get treated terribly because you're not white. Then obviously they will go to the nearest people that they can oppress, and that being the women. And women are not seen as autonomous people too. We can also see it in the story. Umapula is not seen as someone who can actually think for herself, because she loves her person. But somehow every man who knows better, who mansplains what love is to her, is basically saying that this person bewitched you, or maybe he has your hold on you. Maybe you said someone.
Also the fact that they're meeting privately. Also the fact they're meeting privately or hiding from people. It's almost like, okay, fine, tribalism, we get it. But also it's like, what's stopping you from meeting with this guy in front of your doorstep? I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's almost like, yes, as much as you're independent, you're a nurse and all that, patriarchy still, it has a hold on you, because you can't meet with this man in front of your doorstep and say, this is my boyfriend, want to marry each other, do you guys approve? Because let's say, fine, they're like, we don't approve this man, he is not part of our tribe. You can fight for him and say, no, I love him, therefore I want to be with him, despite what the rules say. But because this is a man telling you what to do, you're going to find yourself like in a way where you just have to obey him, you have to meet privately, even risk getting killed because you love this man, but you can't say no to patriarchy. I think, okay, yes, you're right, that patriarchy wasn't reinforced by apartheid, because when you think about it, it's always been there, right? But now, my theory, let me say, is that when apartheid came, right, it came in a way to, just try to minimize or make the black person feel even smaller, because they treated people like dirt, they treated them like animals, right? But now you have apartheid patriarchy, which was like indirectly, like they tried to indirectly force the black man to go home and abuse his wife, create discourse in the family. So now it's like, okay, a black man goes to his home, he can't be happy. Already he's being oppressed in the city. When you go home, slap your wife, abuse your kids, because I don't want you to be happy. You're not a person who deserves to be happy. You deserve to go work in the city. And now, generation after generation, you find families that are still messed up, trauma happening, and it's like it's a never-ending cycle of generational trauma caused by a patriarchy and apartheid.
I was going to oppose you saying force, but I see it. Because the thing with that is that, again, these black men experience violence themselves when they get into the cities and they have to work. Even the black women, when they had to work in the cities, when the Dompas thing was also the rule was also passed on to women, that they also had to have passes. That meant that a lot more violence followed through when it came to women. So now they see violence, they experience violence, and they see how people cooperate under violence. So they will want to take that and implement it back home. We can also see it with our black parents, our black grandparents. Hey, my mom used to get beat at home.
I'm also thinking of something. Oh, you want to add on?
Yeah, I wanted to add something that patriarchy was also like a tool used to control women in a way.
That's
to keep them in a box so that they can't really oppose anything that a man says. So that is why I think that Mapula couldn't really decide against that decision that the community had made and her family, that she cannot date Linga.
I want to add on to Bianca's point and also your point, right? How, like, you mentioned that because of the Dompas thingy, now women are allowed to work as well. I'm also thinking that this also caused, like, a fight between the man and woman at the house. Because now a woman is working. It's almost like you working is a way of you challenging my control, my power in the household. Yeah, that's what made also like patriarchy, this whole generational trauma even worse, because now it's like man versus woman. It's not man or black people against the system. We're not fighting each other in the household. It's not enough that we're fighting each other as black people, we're fighting each other in the household. Things are getting better because you're a woman, I'm a man, we're both working, but we're fighting each other. We're not fighting the people creating this thing.
Ultimately, guys, we can still feel the effect of apartheid till this day. We can feel them in everything. Women are still not seen as autonomous beings, and the situation with Umapula could still, that happened during the 1950s, could still happen till this day. Just because maybe you want to be with a person from another tribe or from another country who is also a black like you, because chances are if it's a white person, everyone's going to be jumping for joy, but if it's a black person, then it's a problem. So yeah, apartheid didn't necessarily like cause the surge in patriarchy, but it had an effect. Yeah, it had an effect.
Before we wrap up, how do you guys think the course of events would have turned out if apartheid didn't really take place in the first place?
The course of events in the story?
Yes, in the story.
I really think it still would have happened. Maybe it wouldn't be the extreme, but I still think she would have killed her uncle. Because patriarchy has always been there. Like, when you look at it, right, yes, apartheid is there, and it's mostly like the reason why they are afraid to just be in the train, because remember in the train they have anxiety and all that, but I still think things would have turned out the way they did.
Same, I was about to say the same thing. I still think that it would have been a situation where Mapula and Rulinga couldn't be together because they are from different tribes. There's always been tensions amongst tribes in South Africa, and Guni speaking people having a bit of an upper hand compared to other speakers in South Africa, and also with Sotho people being so close to Zulu people and Xhosa people right close to them. I feel like that makes a lot of sense for the story to have turned out that way. I think Mapula still would have killed her uncle. I think that she would have wanted her control back. She would have wanted to take back her life, and did that anyway.
I think, okay, maybe she wouldn't have killed her uncle. Maybe they would run off with her boyfriend. But because circumstances were that extreme, then yeah.
I also think there wouldn't have been a difference in how the events folded out, because in some way or the other, there would have been something that was stopping them from being together. Because remember that in African societies, there's always a division on who's bigger than who, despite of the similarities that we may share. So probably if it was outside of the apartheid system, they would have had to like live in their villages in a way, but then maybe Mapula being from the Sotho tribe and being up from the Xhosa tribe, they still would have had those difficulties in coming together. So
do you guys think, because you saw the story from the Sotho people, do you guys think the Xhosa people would have killed Mapula?
Ulinga.
Yeah.
Yes.
People, they would have killed her.
Let's see how much time I have left. We have time. Yes.
I don't think so. Like maybe because when you look at it in the story, they're showing that Sotho people, they are superior in a way in this circumstances. They look like they're acting the way as superior. We never see anything from a Xhosa family.
Maybe not kill her, but
it would have been on site.
Well, I don't think that they would have killed Linga, because when we look back to the story, the whole thing was orchestrated by the uncle, that he mobilized the community in order to go and confront Linga. So based on the existing animosities, that had led to the uncle also like creating a feud in a way, and also creating a group thinking that affected the community into wanting to go and attack this person. So yeah, it would have still happened.
So they would have still killed Mapula, the Xhosa people.
Oh no, they wouldn't have killed him if there wasn't like a group thinking in place.
No, Mapula.
Mapula didn't die.
Yes, would they have killed Mapula if the situation was reversed?
Yeah.
I think
they
would have.
Wouldn't.
I don't think
they would send her to exile or something.
Maybe because she's a woman.
Yeah.
I think maybe they try not to harm her because she's a woman, but they would have done something.
Send her.
They would have done something.
Yeah.
But that's the end of our podcast. Thank you so much for coming. We really hope you enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed it. See you on the next one. Bye.